Welcome back. So right now we are going to explain the process of creating a transaction into the system and how that's going to look like. So our Azure function will receive a DTO of this shape. This is how the transaction that will be sent from the client will look like. It will have a wallet ID, is income or is expense, depends. Description, this is nullable. Tags is also nullable. We talked about that and the purpose of this for querying. Attachments, which is the property that will be filled. We already talked about the serverless architecture for managing the attachments into our system from the videos 20 to 24. I'm going to put the link for the video number 20 on. You can see that on the top right corner of your screen. So after the user uploads a set of attachments, he can either remove them or keep them. So it depends. So basically what the user can do is, let's say, upload single attachment. So this is an array. It can take like a collection of attachments. So we have a URL of the attachments, those, and then we have the category, which is food, and the amount. The amount has always to be positive, but based on the is income or is expense, it's going to be determined if it's a positive or negative. But the amount by default cannot come as a negative value inside the DTO. So after the service or the function retrieves this DTO, the operation is going to follow as the following. And this is not going to be something complicated. The first thing we will start with is, of course, just validate the input. We will use Fluent validation for that. Make sure that those values, the required values like the wallet, is income, category, and amount are available. We will make sure that the wallet is actually we will retrieve this wallet by its ID, make sure that it's related to the current user who is adding the transaction. Then we will have the attachments validation. We're going to retrieve those attachments submitted in this array from the temp attachments container, make sure that they are there. And if they are there, then that's good. We are going to remove them from that temp table at the end. So after that, all the validation is okay. We are going to create and save the transaction object that we have created in the previous two videos. And then we have the wallet, the full wallet that this transaction is related to. It has the overall balance. So we're going to update. So if the current balance is like 1,000 and then an amount of this 7.90 as an expense. So what's going to happen, the balance has to be like 92.10. So we're going to update the full balance. Otherwise, if we don't do this operation here, basically every time we retrieve the wallet, we're going to make a query for all the transactions to retrieve the current balance, which is something not very efficient, especially after having a huge number of transactions. So it's good to update the balance after adding or updating, deleting any transaction. The last thing we want to do is just go to the temp attachments container and just remove those attachments so they are not going to be deleted later by the Azure function that runs every 6 hours and remove the unused attachments. So by deleting the attachments, there's going to be no reference in the database other than this URL here that will be stored inside the transaction JSON document. So this is how the flow will look like. It's going to be simple. We will start first by creating the DTO, creating the validators, and then we will start, before we start creating the function, we need to implement the update wallet balance in the wallets repository, and we are going to use what's called partial document update in Azure Cosmos DB. So let's get started creating that DTO.